Oh my God. All right, we are doing a test. I am sitting on a mostly gone spool of electrical wire, which is why I almost wiped out backwards, just checking for sound. DOVOH, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing this properly, sent me this 3-plane laser level to try out and see what I thought about it. It's really nice for somebody like me who is super disorganized to have a nice hard-sided carrying case. Also is fitted, which is really nice. So everything goes back in a specific location. I'm just gonna set this on this little makeshift table that I have made out of drywall. They do have an attachment that screws into the bottom that you can also put on a tripod, for instance, like what I have my camera on right now. If you wanted to do your lines higher up, say you're doing a horizontal line higher up on a wall, you could elevate on a tripod. But right now I just want to show you guys the functions. The nice thing about this is it is actually very, very easy to use and get going out of the package. It doesn't take a lot of finagling or experimenting with the settings or reading the instructions. So to turn it on, once you have the battery in it, you're just going to hold down that center on button. And you have a couple options. So you have the H for the horizontal line, you have the V for the vertical line. So now you can kind of see those over on my arm. So you can either do the vertical on its own, the horizontal on its own, or you could do both of them together. So you have the option to do a grid, you have the option to just do a straight line up and down. Now the other option you have, and I'm gonna turn this off real quick right here, I'm just gonna hold my off button off, is over here on the side, you have this switch that goes from a lock to an unlock. So a lock setting would be you manually are gonna level this yourself and you just want it to stay in place. So say you've leveled the base or you know your base is level and you just want to keep it as it is. Now, if you switch this over here to not having that, see how it's kind of a little wobblier and it's getting a parameter for itself, it's getting a baseline. If you turn that off, it's going to, because I don't have the lock function, I have the unlock, it's going to level itself. Now, if it cannot, say it's on a really crooked surface like this, see how it's beeping? It's telling me that it's not close enough where it can level itself and you need to get it to a better surface before you start. So that's the thing that I like about laser levels is they're gonna find the level for you. You don't have to get it exactly right, and if I'm too far off, again, it's gonna give me that warning. So let's move to another application and I'll show you some of the ways that I would like to use a laser level if this house was more finished than it is right now. Now, right now, this house is a full gut and renovation and so we don't have drywall, but I'll show you a couple of my favorite places to use a laser level on a renovation project. Checking for alignment of our can lights. Here's a great example of a use for a laser level. So if you can kind of see this green line that's shining through here, and it is actually really sunny in here right now. There's a big window on the front of the house that's shining through. If you wanted to get a nice baseline for the bottom of your cabinets, this gives you a nice line, and it's actually giving me a line all the way around the kitchen. So where this corner wraps, let me see if I can show you. See that corner? So that's where our corner cabinet's gonna go, and then it goes to the other side. It's really nice to be able to see this is our level baseline for the property all the way around, and that's where we want our base of our cabinets to all line up if that was the height that you wanted them at. Another great application is installing any sort of trim. Every time that I trim out a window, I constantly have all these levels, and I'm making sure my trim's level, and I'm getting it off my window with the offset that I want, and I constantly am setting down the level. I don't want to drop it. So if you have a projection of where you want your trim to be, and you can just line it up against the projection of the laser, that's a super handy tool. So we're not there yet in this project, but one of my favorite uses for a laser level is starting your first row or aligning your tile as you go on a project. So if I step to the side, you can kind of see my green line here and throughout. So when you start that first tile, it's really important that that first run is perfectly level and then everything else can go off of it really easily. If you start with an uneven first row, everything is hard for the rest of the project. So that being said, this is one of my best uses and one of my favorite uses. And so when we get in here and we start tiling, we're definitely going to use the laser to just give us a nice baseline to go off of to start with a really nice foundation.